The Auburn Tigers get an experienced Power 4 offensive tackle. Let's go!
You are Locked On Auburn, your daily podcast on the Auburn Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into Locked On Auburn, your daily Auburn Tigers podcast. I'm your host, Zach Blackerby, and thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day. A very energetic Matt Sheehan.
That's right.
The host of Locked On Spartans. I went on Locked On Spartans a few days ago because you guys get Caleb Wheatland. You're coming on Locked On Auburn because Stanton Ramil, the left tackle for the Spartans for all of 2024, for the first part of 2025, looks like he suffered an injury. We'll get more on that in a second. But he is committed. He's now an Auburn Tiger, Matt Sheehan. Your initial thoughts from the Auburn perspective should be what? Should we be excited about Stanton Ramil?
Going to answer your question with a question, Zach. One of my favorite tricks that I like to do here. What's your left tackle situation looking like right now? Is he coming in as a bona fide starter, you think, on day one? Will there be some competition?
If there was if we added no one else, which we will have to, we don't have enough people in the room, he would be the starter.
Okay. I don't hate it. I would categorize it perhaps as a gamble, and I think that's a fair assessment here. First and foremost, I wish nothing but the best for the kid, like we talked about before recording. We had him on Locked On Spartans. Nice kid, good leader.
Friend of the program,
all this and that, and definitely no sour grapes with his departure, but I think it's a gamble. Look, let's talk about the upside here. How can this work? He came in as a 4-star. He missed his entire true freshman season because ACL injury. Okay, then he gets thrust into the starting role, redshirt freshman season. About 3 or 4 games is where he blossomed into a starter. Now, it was an outstanding season for him, but okay, your first college action in Big Ten play, you're going against the likes of Ohio State, Oregon. You can understand how that might not go so well right off the rip here. Okay, but hey, you know what? Big body comes in with a big pedigree. Like, maybe down the line, it can work. You don't panic about a tackle because it didn't work out in his first year starting. Now, here's where maybe the low end of the gamble comes. Let's say that you do roll snake eyes and, this didn't work out because, like I said, missed that freshman season with an injury. He did miss pretty much every game after the first month of the season due to another leg injury. And I'm sorry, I don't know if it was the same leg or not. It wasn't to the extent of an ACL tear, but it was definitely one that kept him.
Matt, it looks like he came back in week 9, played 18 snaps. Did they just try to give it the old college try to see, and it didn't pan out? Like, what did that mean?
That's precisely what it was. And those 18 snaps against Michigan, too. So this kid's a gamer. He wanted to come in, and he wanted to make a difference in that big rivalry game. But just never materialized here. So, yes, somewhere inside that body is a 4-star pedigree, a guy with a lot of experience. Can it materialize? Sure. But injury issues, and also in that first month of last season against Boston College, he let up, I think it was 5 or 6 pressures, a sack, and that's not necessarily a demon front 4 over there for Boston College. So I'm hoping for the best for him. I hope it can work. It still absolutely can work. I think it's a little bit of a roll of the dice here, though, for Auburn.
Yeah, they're going to have to get a handful of guys like this. I don't see this staff really pursuing the top offensive tackles in the portal. I think Ramil was ranked 11th on On3's total rankings for tackles, which is kind of what I expected. I think they're going to get a bunch of guys 10 to 20-ish, and let's just see what happens. Last few years, Auburn's gotten guys towards the top end of the portal when it came to tackle, and I don't know if it's been worth it financially. How much of that has been coaching and scheme? I've been a little bit more defensive of the offensive line woes at Auburn than most people have, and I'll continue to do that. The health thing concerns me about this.
It's something.
Yeah. Auburn lost a lot of guys in the portal, as did Michigan State. And, there's a million reasons why a kid can enter the portal. I'll make that very clear when we talk about it. But it's been pretty well reported, by several folks in the Auburn media that the way Alex Golesh and his staff are structuring these NIL deals is you can get paid at Auburn, but you are going to have to earn it. You're getting some up front, but a lot of it is incentive-based. Depending on the type of guy Stanton Ramil is, this could be perfect for him. You mentioned he's a gamer. You mentioned that he wants to be that guy. You couldn't keep him off the field against Michigan. I love that.
Yes.
Could this be a situation where it's like, look, if you come in here and stay healthy and you're our left tackle, you are going to get paid. If that's the context and approach of this, I absolutely love this move based on what I'm hearing from you.
Yeah, there's absolutely a world where this all works out. And he does have years of eligibility remaining, which is the nice thing, too. And that's also where I find a little interesting.
2 years left, Michigan. Correct?
Yes, I believe it. Zach, we talk nothing about college sports. I can't figure out what eligibility rules are anymore these days. But
well, it looks like in 23 when he missed the entire year, that would be a red shirt.
2 years, right?
Right. Then all of 2024, it was him, and then he played in 5 games last year. So I'm assuming that's 2.
But
if he's a senior, then threatens to sue the NCAA because he got hurt his freshman year, like, does he get another? Who knows?
Right. And there's this clause that if you're from a state that starts with the letter A, you get another year of eligibility. Like, it's all fascinating in the NCAA this day and age. But yeah, I like the play for Auburn, right? Because that's such his life in offensive line recruiting too. It's there's always a give and take here, right? Like, you're going to take in a Stanton Ramil, you get years of eligibility, could work out. Injury issues could also pop up and have it not work out. On our side, though, I thought it was interesting that, look, Stanton Ramil walks, and then they immediately get a guy that, okay, top 5 left tackle in the portal in Ben Morosky out of UConn. Now, the give and take with that is Morosky's only got 1 more year of eligibility. So instead of, keep it with the Ramil train, keep that chugging along, they're going with a one-and-done guy who is already more solidified at being a solid tackle. But, again, just like I said, you're going to have to give out something here when you bring in top-end guys.
Yeah. Yeah, there's another element of this that is a little bit different than other guys that Auburn's brought into the portal so far. I want to touch on what that means in just a moment right here on Locked On Auburn. Today's show brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. FanDuel is America's #1 sports book. And look, we've got NFL playoff action happening right now. If you watch this, you know that, yes, I love the Auburn Tigers, but I also love the New England Patriots. New England at home, a 3.5-point favorite against the LA Chargers. I'm taking the Patriots. I think that line's too low. I'm going to be honest with you. So we'll see. Hey, you can get in on the action with that game and, of course, all of the other playoff games. And, of course, Auburn plays basketball Saturday as well. FanDuel is the best place to get in on the action all playoff long. Visit FanDuel.com to get your profit boost going every single day. Today's show also brought to you by our friends at Rouette. Rouette. Look, there's ups and downs in portal season. With Rouette, there's only ups, baby. Let's talk about something most men don't bring up, but absolutely should. Stress from work, money, life. It doesn't just switch off at night. And when it shows up at the worst possible time, Rouette Ready is designed to help you take back control. If you've been thinking about taking the next step, now's the time. Head to Rougiette.com/LockedOnCollege. That is Rougiette.com, Rugiet, Rougiette.com/LockedOnCollege to get 15% off your order for a limited time. Rougiette Ready. Feel present, feel confident, feel ready. Rougiette. Matt Sheehan, host of Locked On Spartans, hanging out with us for a few more minutes. So a common theme for the guys that have come in so far, and it's still early. Like, there's still so many guys in the portal, so many roster spots to fill, both on both of the teams that we cover, Auburn and Michigan State, and just throughout college football as a whole. On the Auburn side of this, it's been a lot of young guys, and they've all been, pretty much all of them have been from USF.
Okay.
And the other guys so far have been from Howard and Miami of Ohio. So this is the first P4 edition. I'm confirming that in my brain.
Okay.
Yes. First P4 edition in the portal. And I said, like, I'm fine with adding the USF guys at the skill positions because like speed is speed. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you're either running the system and getting open or you're not. Like, there's levels there. I didn't want a bunch of USF guys in the trenches, and we haven't gotten that yet. I like that Ramil, I mean, arguably the Big Ten was the best conference in college football last year, especially at the top. Mm-hmm. Regardless of if you want to say the SEC is better, you're splitting hairs at this point. And I like that he's battle tested in that conference. I think that's a big deal.
It is. It helps. I just always go back to his end of the redshirt freshman season, and that's where things really started to come together for him. And he said that on our show just as much, that, yeah, it was kind of crazy having some of my first games against the Ohio States of the world, Michigan, Iowa. But once that last month of the season, well, not only did he have 8 games of experience, but it also eased up a little bit in that redshirt freshman season. So he came into last offseason with confidence. And then the year starts. He looks decent enough against Western Michigan, but I just can't shake that Boston College game out of my head because that certainly seemed like that was his first game of college football action. So, like, I know he's better than that. I think he knows he's better than that, but it was such a I don't want to – disaster seems like a little hyperbolic, but it was definitely a step back from where we remembered that he was in 2024. So could he –
Is there a chance he's a right tackle, Matt?
Fascinating question. He hasn't played any, at least to my knowledge. And if he has,
according to PFF, all of his snaps at Michigan State have been at left tackle.
Why not give it a run there, though? I mean, I'm sure,
especially if you get a few guys like that, right? That are kind of like lotto picks and like moving guys around. Unless that's the pitch, right? It's like, did Golesh go to Ramil and say, "Hey, you're our left tackle no matter what"?
But is he in a position to say, "Oh, I will only sign for left tackle positions at SEC or Big Ten schools," or is he in a position where he's like, maybe I gotta be a little open to a little bit of everything if I do want to keep playing, and not just Power 4, but upper echelon Power 4 football.
Right.
That might not actually be a horrible theory to walk into the offseason with.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you, like, is he a natural left tackle?
From all accounts, yeah, I believe that's all he played in high school, as far as I'm concerned, and that's all he played here at Michigan State. But why not give it a swirl on the other side of the line here?
Yeah, I'm interested with that. Yeah, Auburn's got a guy, like, we haven't heard officially if he's coming back yet or not, named Tyler Johnson, who's kind of always been around, and he's always, like, gotten beat out by the transfer tackle that they've brought in.
Gotcha.
And he stayed, and it kind of seems like now's the time for him to do it.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's bad by any means. And in fact, it might have been close and it might have been better. But since it was close, they're going to give it to the guy that they're paid, $1 million to come in and play the position. So curious to see like what that looks like, what that dynamic looks like. But Auburn's got a bunch of questions on the O-line. And so Ramil is an answer, but we don't know the answer to what question. Left tackle, depth, right tackle, swing guy. Interesting.
Somewhere in there.
Based off of what you've heard me say about Caleb Wheatland a few days ago, who you guys added, who would you say won this trade between Caleb Wheatland, former Auburn, now Michigan State Spartan, or Stanton Ramil, former Michigan State Spartan, now Auburn Tiger?
I like Stanton too. This is the thing. So this is no disrespect against him, but there's a major component in this is that Ben Morosky from UConn comes over. So the fact that we got that in Stanton Ramil's spot, again, no disrespect. I kind of lean that maybe we won the trade here. Yeah, perhaps. Sure. How do you feel about this? I
think we could say the same thing. I mean, Auburn's got we talked about it. Like, I like Caleb Wheatland.
Sure.
I just like 5 linebackers on Auburn's roster. Auburn is loaded a lot. We had a lot of issues last year. Linebacker was not one of them. We got a lot of questions about the roster now. Linebacker not one of them. So this could be a situation, obviously not a literal trade. We're having fun here, but if it were a trade.
No, this is legit. Come on now. Come on.
Okay. Yeah. We did this a few years ago with Oregon, where like a bunch of our guys went to Oregon. We got guys back. And I actually talked to one of them at the Senior Bowl, and I asked him about the trade. He's like, well, it wasn't a trade. I'm like, I know. It's a joke. It's a joke. And we laughed after that. But I think it would be a situation where like both teams do get better. Like they both get something that they like. We need offensive linemen. And even if they're not sure things, whether it's from a production standpoint or an injury / health standpoint, like we need lottery picks on the offensive line. We do.
Yeah. Yep. I get it, man. I get it. Just 4 functioning limbs and a heartbeat is what you need at a lot of positions, but especially the offensive line, you need a little bit more than that, and it comes in form of a gamble sometimes. So best of luck.
That's right. Yeah. Thank you. How can people check out everything you've got going on if folks want to follow Caleb Wheatland or hear more from great Matt Sheehan?
That's right. You're the best, Zach. Much appreciated, man.
Yep. Please like the video. Please subscribe. We'll see you next time. This has been Locked on Auburn.